Okay, hello everybody. We'll start a little bit early because all the members are joining one by one. So it's nice to see you after the 2-week break since late August. And tonight we're going to do part two of the hedge words, a little bit stronger hedge words for your work this evening, using the Manchester guide to help us in our writing. I discovered some good hedge words that we can use. And as part of tonight's lesson, I wanted to use more Vietnam specific words that you perhaps come across in your research, because we have a mix of teachers and business people and scientific researchers, education. So I tried to do a mix of all of those so that you can enjoy samples that are closer to your field of research. Okay, before we begin, are there any questions we can start with? If anyone would like to ask me anything. Remember, this is going to be a workshop style, so by all means, you can submit paragraphs in the Zoom chat. Zoom does have a limit on the number of words you can use, but if you would like me to check something you have written, you can enter it here in Zoom. If you need more time to prepare what you have written, to find a really good example, you can always put that in Zalo, and I have free time during the week, and I can start helping you edit something that you really need help on. And that's important because it's also part of your seminar, your educational experience here is if I get a hands-on approach to what we could call real world. I'll put that in chat. That's a great expression. Real world example would come from your work. And this helps you directly to build stronger academic writing skills. Okay, so now I would try to say your Vietnamese names, but it's always embarrassing for me because I make pronunciation mistakes. I can do simple names like An. There are two Ans. There's Nguyen An and there's Huyen An. There's Bao and Bao An and Bin Li and Chao, and Kuang and Kuang and Du Han and Han Pham and Hong Van and Huyen Phuc Nguyen. Kate is here. K-Berry Fon Tong is here. Liu Tui is here, and Li is here. And Mai Nguyen is here. Nyok Tri Doan is here. And Nguyen Tan is here. And Tom Nguyen is here. Tao Nguyen is here. And Toa Nguyen is here. And Vaughn is here. And Vu is here. I'm getting better with the family name Nguyen. Probably Tran and Nguyen, the most famous names in Vietnam. I was teaching at the very start of the corona pandemic about 5 or 6 years ago. I was teaching a group of engineers from Vietnam who work at a Japanese company about 35 miles east of Hiroshima. And 3 of the members were named Nguyen. I couldn't say that name because it's NGU. So Nguyen or Nguyen, hopefully I'm improving. So, okay. So let's start. I want to do part 2 of the hedging words, and we describe these as a little bit stronger in style. And so let me share the screen now to get things up and running, and we'll jump right in. And there we go. Okay, so I believe it's pretty big. It's 15-point letter size on Apple Pages. I think this is pretty good if it's okay to read. Some students are reading from pads or even smartphones or cell phones. So please let me know if the print isn't big enough, but I went to 15-point fonts to make it as large as I could. So today is September 6th, Saturday, and it's part 2 of being cautious versus being strong. So I ought to put that in there, versus being strong in your language you use. And we'll start out with the cautious language. So we briefly discussed this idea of being cautious in the language used in an abstract, especially in August sessions. In academic writing, there is a tendency for writers to avoid expressing absolute certainty because there may be some uncertain uncertainty acknowledged in one's research, in your research, the writer is encouraged not to overgeneralize for the simple reason that a small number of exceptions might exist. Using specific phrasing to lessen the strength of a statement or claim is known as a hedging device. Hedging devices, or hedging words, are commonly found in the discussion section of academic articles, papers, or theses. Hedging devices help writers to offer explanations for their findings. So there are several actions or goals to take when working with hedge words. One of these actions is to provide the author with distance from a proposition. It's a really wonderful expression, distance from a proposition. There's another expression we're using in English, and it's a casual expression. I'll put it here briefly, wiggle room. Wiggle room means you can work around a proposition if you are not comfortable in fully supporting it. So wiggle room means you can find a way to the left or to the right to get around a difficult proposition in your discussion or your abstract. So what this means is that the author is remaining neutral on a subject, neither agreeing nor disagreeing, at least for the time being. A skilled author may be waiting to take a stance later in the work, but before doing so, they set the conditions right for their assertion. It could also be that the author feels that going into the small details, what is called the fine grain, on a related subject is getting in the way of their argument. They are getting sidetracked. So I put an image here to help you with sidetracked. This sidetracked expression comes from railroad language or terminology. You want to take your argument or research findings forward to a destination, but you find yourself explaining another topic which may very well be important, but it does take too much explanation and you can only touch upon it briefly. So going straight down the railroad track, you have your destination here, but you find yourself sidetracked in your abstract or your literature review. If you find yourself having to defend a proposition that may or may not be so important to your work, it may not be the full impact, the full thrust of your work. So you want to avoid this sidetracking, getting too far down. So you briefly touch upon other propositions, and this is why hedging is really important. Hedging allows you to just briefly go here, then get back on the main track to your destination here. So think of it as railroad destinations, right? Okay. So sidetracking can also be of concern in a literature review where the author wants to adequately cover the state of a debate or research field. However, some of the works in the literature review have the tendency to divert an author from staying with the most pertinent research necessary to make a point. Dr. Duke's colleague led a summer session in July on quality literature reviews. Please request a viewing via video of the workshop if possible to see her work from a colleague in Australia on the literature review, what makes a good literature review, and what you can hedge only briefly touch upon in a literature review. That's very important because I struggled with a literature review myself. I knew that if I included one author, my work would be completely sidetracked over here. So I briefly touched on it and I used one of his colleagues, and I defended using the colleague's work because the colleague had better experience in my area of expertise. Okay, any questions on that first part on getting sidetracked and briefly touching upon things? And the main point there is hedging words that are cautious versus being strong. Okay. So if I may, let me just check here for anything in the chat. One moment. Okay. And okay, so I'll move on to the other part. If I may go back to my train track example. Okay, so sidetracking. Part 2. I have longer examples with specific language to help you distance yourself from propositions. So when we started 2 weeks ago, the distancing from propositions, allowing yourself, again, wiggle room, room to circumvent, go around something. that you don't have to fully defend a proposition so early in your work in the abstract or introduction or literature review. You don't feel comfortable fully going into it. So you want to go around it a little bit. And this is why the soft hedging and strong hedging are really important. So these are longer examples. We have for education, the first part here I used education because I was using business and science and social science in the past 3 or 4 weeks. And I feel that I've neglected the educators here. We have people doing educational research for, in their field of expertise. So for the next few weeks, I really want to introduce more education to help you because after all, Dr. Duke and I are educators first and foremost. So we have to really delve into some education terminology, phrasing to help you as much as we can. So we have, it is thought that computer literacy should be a chief objective in education. So we have, it is thought that it's a soft hedging. It is believed that corporal punishment should be prohibited in schools. Corporal meaning body or hitting a student, striking them with an instrument or a hand. It is believed that corporate punishment should be prohibited in schools. It's a form of hedging. It has been reported that students are increasingly turning in AI-assisted work and claiming the work is entirely their own. If you use this particular hedge, please be prepared to put a source directly after it, because if you wrote "it has been reported," it begs the question then, where did you get this report? Who is reporting this? So you would need a source immediately after that. Okay. It is widely held that a higher number of classroom instructional hours results in better test results for younger students. This was a really hot topic 25 years ago in America. I'm not sure, after I did my teacher's training on the master's level in Chicago, if this is still a hot topic. My supervising professor made me really go into this topic a lot because I was actually teaching at an after-school education center, and she wanted to know my experience. So I had to write a series of essays to support that longer hours in the day where students go to a teaching supplemental center results in better test scores. So it is a widely held view in America that a higher number of classroom instructional hours results in better test results for young students. This higher number of classroom instructional hours could also mean shorter vacation times. So taking 2 weeks away from the American summer vacation. The summer vacation used to be June, July, and August, 3 months, because traditionally America was a farming country, with something like 80% of the families were farmers growing food, and the students needed June, July, and August to help on the family farms when the weather was hotter. So they gave the students a full 3 months off. But this idea of 3 months of summer was seen as too long by many educators and policymakers and even parents. So they took away 2 weeks in August. That's part of the higher number of classroom instructional hours, not just study centers after school, but shorter vacation times. Okay. It has commonly been assumed that after-school education enrichment programs for math, reading, and foreign languages are the key to student success. Commonly assumed, again, this one is like, it has been reported that. This one, you don't have to put a source here because it's a common assumption in the general public's mind that after-school education supplemental centers are necessary for better student success. So reported that is quite different than commonly assumed. Commonly assumed, there's no literature there. It's just a generally held idea in the public mind. Both of these would be excellent to compare contrast if you were writing on education, let's say. Now, for the business, economics, environmental sciences examples, I wanted to switch back to social policy, environmental science, and business and finance and economics, because there are many researchers doing that in our study group. So for these, I wanted to use quick sources that I got from Perplexity. We're using the Perplexity AI for the younger students, and I'm using it to teach debate classes and basic writing for the high-level primary and secondary school students. And I was impressed with how quickly Perplexity can find sources. Dr. Duke is also recommending this for her graduate students because Perplexity is just very good at locating pertinent or especially important, accurately sourcing sources. So this comes from Vietnam Press, October 2024. I tried to get the most recent publication dates for you to show that this is fresh information. Now let's see, who would like to read, because I don't want to lecture the whole time. Some students enjoy the ability to do a presentation through their speaking. So if you want to use Zoom, raise your hand. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. I have 7 of these examples. Would anyone like a little bit of reading practice? Actually, 8 of these. If you raise your hand, I can call on you to read this, and this gives you a presentation practice during class. I could, of course, choose people to do it too. Li Tui, you look very attentive. Would you like to try to read one of these for us? This is Li Tui. May I ask you? Hello, how are you tonight?
Yes, hello. Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Would you like to try to read this example here for like a little presentation practice?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes. The first one. According to Nguyễn Hồng Phương, Deputy Chief of the Standing Office of the Vietnam Mekong River Committee, almost 95% of the river's flow originates from the upstream countries, which makes the Mekong Delta highly susceptible to fluctuations caused by developmental activities. According to hydropower projects upstream in neighboring countries, Vietnam Plus, October 2024.
Nice, excellent. Yeah, you got that susceptible to fluctuations. Presenting in conferences is one of the skills that I teach Japanese science researchers. And Li Tui, you did that very smoothly. There would be no corrections there. That's very nice. Great to see as a teacher of languages myself. So nice work. Congratulations. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So just to go into this, according to, the goal there was according to, which I put in red. According to, hedging word, I would say in between soft and hard, according to, strongly support, because there's a source here that will immediately support your assertion that you're going to discuss. Of course, later in a presentation or in an article, you could challenge this, but for now, you let it stand here that this is a assertion made by a Nguyen Hongfang. And the family name is Nguyen, so we'll use that. It's an assertion which you may or may not support further on. Ooh. There you go. Okay. Let's see, let's try another person. Of course, I'm looking for people with their screens turned on. I'm going to go further down the line because I really want people to try this. Let's see, who do we have? Do we have, let's see, Hien, are you here? With the great purple and white, the colors of Northwestern University in my hometown. Hien Li Nguyen Yok, are you there? Oh, okay. How about Tri Kok Nguyen? Tri Kok Nguyen, are you there? All right. How about Nguyen Vo Chao Nyang? Are you there? Oh, I don't see. Some of you may come in late. How about Ivy? Hello, Ivy. Are you there? Ivy, are you here this evening? It's a quiet Saturday. It's a quiet Saturday. Oh, no. Let's see. Nguyen An, are you here? Oh, Van Pham. Tran. Hello. How are you, Van Pham?
Hi, Dr. Brennan, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds nice and clear. Would
Yeah,
you like to read one of these?
yes.
Okay.
According to recent reports, the ongoing exploitation of water resources in the Mekong River Basin have experienced more complicated developments, with upstream countries accelerating the implementation of hydroelectric and irrigation projects. Vietnam Plus, October 2024.
Yeah. And this Vietnam Plus also offers its articles in Vietnamese, French, Spanish, English. So it's a good source that I got. I was unaware of this journal until I used Perplexity. So great reading, by the way. Okay, so the this is a little more precise. It has more precision because it's according to recent reports. And so that's why it's important to put Vietnam Plus right there to help you. It's hedging with some immediate support provided here. So according to recent reports, it begs the question, it brings the question, well, who reports that? It asks the question, who reports that? So in your writing, sometimes when you're doing your research and you're writing, you have to ask your question late at night if you're working on something, or during the day in your academic research work. You have to ask yourself frequently, well, who's reporting this? Who's going to substantiate this? Who's going to stand by me in my assertion? Or who can I challenge in their methodology or data or statistics? Okay, thank you very much. Let's try another person. I'm enjoying you, everybody having a chance to speak. So by all means, raise your hand and I will call on you to help read. Let's see. Helen, are you here? That's a familiar name, Helen.
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me well?
Helen, I taught you before, right, Helen?
I don't think so. This
Oh,
is the
really?
first
Okay.
time I'm joined this.
Oh, okay. It was another Helen. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's okay.
Helen, would you like to read this highlighted orange here for according?
Yes, according to many disputes, as Vietnamese tourist and hospitality sector continue to rise, particularly with the rapid development of coastal resort project, the need of conducting environmental impact assessments EIA not only ensure the compliance with the current environment protection regulations, but also play a crucial role in the promoting sustainable development by minimizing negative impact on natural ecosystem and local communities. Look Vietnam, April 2025.
Very good, Helen. So, Helen, the reason I chose this is that last year we had a winter workshop in presentations, and at least three of the members were involved in the development of coastal golf communities, resorts for international visitors. And they wanted to do their presentations in English. And so water resources became an important issue in their presentations to foreign financiers. They wanted to show that Vietnam was conducting water scarcity studies so that the golf courses would be sustainable over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So this was an important topic. Um, Again, where the hedgeword says, according to many in the field, again, it brings forth the question, well, who are these people in the field that you are referencing, you know? So it's important to follow this up with, I think the pronunciation is Luat Vietnam Journal of April 2025. And in a few minutes, I'll show you these journals because I think it's important for you to see where I'm getting these examples from. So it's Luat Vietnam. And then you can determine if these journals are for general reading or if these have a more academic feel to them.
Um,
Okay.
yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
may I
Thanks.
ask?
Yeah, please tell it.
Sorry.
Mm,
Yeah, may I ask, like, according to many in this field,
mm,
like, um, as the person who writing the literature review, if
mm,
we writing the according to many in this field, is
mm,
it too obvious? I mean,
mm.
like, do we need to be more specific, any kinds of
Yeah.
populars or um, accuracies, uh, yeah, publications?
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, so because um, For example, I am writing right now as the proposal for my PhD thesis, not
Hmm.
PhD thesis, but the entrance into the proposal for my PhD scholarship. And in the proposal, I planning to writing a literature review. And
Hmm.
because the length of the proposal are just 3 pages,
Hmm.
3 pages, so it's really short.
Okay.
So I really want to learn how we can, like, okay, I can read 20 uh, or more than a paper to do literature review. But when I summarize it, uh, what should be the structure that I should writing um, as well, like that, because literature review is very important for to map with the supervisor that
Hmm.
shows about my research. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, Helen, if you had just this statement as the start of a literature review, of course, then you could immediately start listing the scholars whose research you are using. So this would be an introductory paragraph in a literature review. It couldn't stand on its own. If this were in an abstract, it can remain a little bit vague using the hedging according to many in this field, right? But
Yes.
if you look at this next example here, it says many scholars, and then I put in here, because the original Manchester manual that we're using, it had just this: many scholars hold a view. And so, Helen, I thought that was too vague. So I wanted to make this stronger. So I added this here. Many scholars, particularly the research team of Pandy, Brailsford, and Sato, hold the view that rising infrastructure inequalities accompany urbanization and economic development. So I immediately named the scholars whose views I was referencing. And I think that's really important. So Helen, if you feel more comfortable, try this second example where, according to many in this field, perhaps several of you feel that this is far too vague for a literature review. For a better introduction in a literature review, can go direct. The only hedge language is here and here. And of course,
Okay. Got it.
okay, so you can challenge this later in your literature review, or you can start dealing with it right away.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
You're
I'm learning
welcome.
a lot from this. Yeah,
Okay,
very good. Yeah, thank you.
you're welcome. Immediacy, there's a keyword. Immediacy means how important is it to go a bit deeper with your support um, from the very start. And that's the thing you'll have to ask yourself. If you ask yourself this question, how immediate do you want to address this? How important is it to go a bit deeper with your support from the very start of an abstract or especially literature review? Then you can determine if you want to use stronger or weaker hedging language. That is left up to you. And of course, if you're on a team of researchers, you can discuss amongst your team members. Or if you're a candidate for master's or PhD level work, you can discuss this with your academic supervisor. Okay, you can, honestly say, how strong should I go here? Okay. Here's a more simply written statement. Pandy, Brailsford, and Sato hold the view that advancing sustainable development vis-a-vis urbanization and economic development will require intentional infrastructure planning for spatial equity. Now, this, I just read the abstract using the perplexity. So spatial equity, I'm not entirely sure what that means. It's part of the thing. I'll show it to you a little while from now. Let's see, we had in the chat, someone asked a chat question, so let me attend to the chats here. Real world, I can say, oh, okay, thanks, Helen. A nice message from Helen. Okay. Going back to this hedging, this one here. Let's find another student who might be interested in reading for us. We have Hyun Fook Nguyen. Are you here?
Excuse me, sir, are you calling me?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm here, I'm on ears. But okay, I'm so sorry because of noisy background. So sometimes if you,
Okay.
I don't know if you are calling me or not.
Nguyen, what is your area of research?
Yeah, okay, so you want me to read the text, right?
Yeah, we'll see if this matches your research area.
Yeah, okay. Recent research has suggested that supporting policy for resource-exhausted cities, SPREC, can alleviate firm overcapacity. SPREC can promote the sustainable development of enterprises by mitigating overcapacity. Journal of Environmental Management 2025.
Yeah, so this one I got for social policy planners and environment researchers. And so I wanted to focus on this word overcapacity. I put that in Vietnamese. Of course, many of you know it, but if the word is new, overcapacity for finance, accounting people, business people, economics, of course, you know this word. Okay. Nice reading, by the way. Okay, so let's see. Recent research has suggested that because we use that as a stronger hedging word, I want to put Journal of Environmental Management right away. Okay. Next is a little bit long, but I thought this example was really interesting because it's from 2024, and this is a, you see we have Tao Nguyen here with these beautiful screensaver. Hello, Tao Nguyen, how are you? Or Nguyen Tao? Hello, how are you? Nguyen Tao, are you here? Oh, microphone problem. I'll wait for just a moment. Okay. How about Tawan Nguyen Kwok? Are you here? Tawan? Tawan, that's a nice name. Tawan, are you here? Hello, Tawan.
Hello, Fred, and okay.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Good, good. Would you like to read one of these for us?
Okay. If Chow 2024 finding accurate, China overcapacity is a direct result of the nation industry utilization rate, which is several percentage below than other nations such as the US, Germany, and India. The national industries, primarily steel and coal, are producing amount which exceeds the market's demand at the moment. This overcapacity in traditional industrial production has now spread to high-tech and clean energy sector such as electrical vehicle, EVs, lithium batteries, and solar panel. Organization for Research on China and Asia 2024.
Very good. Good reading, Tawan. So this also addresses Helen's question, you know, by putting this statement in, this is a real literature review statement, or even in the discussion portion of your article or thesis. You name Yao, the Chinese researcher, right from the very start, and you pose it as a question. If Yao's 2024 findings are accurate, China's overcapacity is a direct result of the nation's industrial utilization rate, which is several percentage points lower than other nations such as the US, Germany, and India. Traditional industries, primarily steel and coal, are producing amounts which exceed the market demand at the moment. This overcapacity in traditional industrial production has now spread to high-tech and clean energy sectors, such as electrical vehicles, EVs, lithium batteries, and solar panels. This is from the Organization for Research on China and Asia, and it's recent. It was just last year. So you can find it there. Now, what I want to do, I'll just check the chat box for any questions. Okay. If anyone has a question, please put it in chat. Hello, Huyen Phuc.
Hello, can you turn back to your share screen?
Yeah, here we go. And which part would you like to discuss?
We move back a little bit to the paragraph right there. When you use Panday, Fox, and Cito on the view that.
Hmm.
So I consider well, I don't see the year of the result of a Panday, Fox, and Cito right here.
Oh, okay.
So in normal citation, we usually have the year, right? So because we have mentioned about it before, so we don't mention it anymore, or
Oh,
it's
I
just
see.
normal.
Okay, we can do that. I was just following what was presented, something like this.
So because it's mentioned in that Nature Communication journal, right?
Yeah, it's down there. I put it down there just because that's where I found it in the that resource, that perplexity source locator. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I just consider if that citation is normal or not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And it's a really good question because what I'd like to do is to actually go to some of these sources. So just a moment, I have to locate my Google history. And so I can show you these sources. And then this always leaves open the possibility of, let me see, I still have to be careful with this. So Zoom doesn't knock me out of the Zoom session. This happened last summer. It's a bit embarrassing. So let me just see if I can get my history and the full history and Zoom and there we go. Okay, so for example, perplexity. Okay. Let me go to Vietnam Plus to show you how it's presented here. This is okay.
Em vẽ
This is the very
vậy con bấm
strange
hiện
thing.
bên máy đi con ạ. Dạ chứ không giờ con lên nè.
Let's see. If you could look at this site, this Perplexity gave this to me. Is this for general readers or is this for academics or policymakers? I'm not sure of the level of this source because Perplexity just gave me this, and I don't know if you could use this as a real source in your thing, in your academic research. It seems a little bit what we describe in English as lightweight. So it's better if I go directly to Perplexity itself to show you where I'm getting this from. So let me go down here and we'll go to Perplexity directly. And this is what Perplexity, some of you have used this. I've only been using this for about 2 weeks. And again, I was impressed at how fast it is to locate sources for you. And actually, some of the sources were high academic sources like Elsevier. So I would ask again, academic articles on China's recent struggles with overcapacity in its economy. And hopefully that's enough of a prompt. China overcapacity academic articles. Let's find a good one here. I believe I had this one before. Okay, it's a trade. This part here, it's for trade. Professional article. Let's see. It's in English and French. Don't know. Let's take a look. It has an abstract. Data. Let me see. Let me ask your impression. Since it has these charts, let's ask Mi Nguyen, are you there? Mi Nguyen. What's your impression of this article? Do you think this would be good for academic standards for research? 2025 June.
Basically, it's for me, it look like more somehow more like a news, like in a newspaper than an academic report, academic work.
Yeah. For
Even that they also like provide some charts and also some data.
yeah.
But yeah, basically that is somehow quite easy to understand for
Yes.
not so easy in a sense for all
Yeah.
people, but but basically like with us like the author tried to write in a very like easy to understand
Yes.
text so that most people can somehow read it and also understand it rather than like only for the academician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe for business people or a quick policy maker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Condensed version. We have the authors and experts are the sector economist, and we have Junyu Tan. Again, he's the economist for Northern Asia. Probably has a good profile. Let's see, it says download our guide on the future of global trade, but I want to be careful if I download something during the share. It might be quite large and wouldn't answer the question. So given something like this, it's not the best example that Perplexity gave. I want a more academic one than this Coface. Science Direct. Okay, Science Direct, let's see what we have. Oh, yes. Now here's the magic word. As soon as I called it up, many of you recognize that it's Elsevier. Based in Europe, is it? Selective industrial policy over capacity evidence from a quasi-natural experiment in China. Let's check the date on this. It's just last year, September 24. It's recent. It's a journal issue volume. This all fits a academic profile. We have a proper abstract. We have an introduction. That's very nice. Long introduction, quite long. Yeah, this is a very good read from Elsevier. So for this one, we of course could quote it. We're given our authors all here, here, and here. I'm going to copy these authors, and then I'm going to stop the share here. And then if we go back to our original thing we're working on, I could pick up this. I want to use this. I'll start with the magic word if. Okay, paste. Oh, it didn't give me the best. It gave me little question marks that I don't want. Sometimes my Pages does this. Sorry. And here, quickly. And I think that looks better. And here. Now, of course, we could just do this. And the correct language you want to use, findings are accurate. China's overcapacity. Okay, China's overcapacity. Let me stop the share and I'll go back to this article again because I want to fill in the last part of that to see what form of hedging we should use. Okay, so they wrote the abstract. We can take a look. Overcapacity has long been a chronic problem affecting China's economic development. Why is China's overcapacity intractable? This study takes the revitalization plans of 10 industries issued by the Chinese government in 2009 as a quasi-natural experiment Not quite sure what that means. It deploys the data of China's A shared list enterprises and the differences DID model to investigate the impact of the selective industrial policy on enterprise overcapacity. The results show that the policy has a significant and persistently negative effect on the capacity utilization rate of the treated group, mechanistic studies, and so on. And then just the study's findings reveal why the administrative decapacity policies enacted by the Chinese government have failed to, okay. I'm going to copy all this here, and I'll show you why this, if it goes into my pages properly. If not, I might have to use. No, it's not doing it properly, so that's a problem. Let me put this paste into your chat. Okay. All right, there it is. Now, if it's in this chat here, it could be that it will allow me to go back and put this in here. Yes, there we go. Sometimes I have to do that double thing there. Okay, let's rephrase this. So using the soft hedging, actually, I'm going to say this is a little stronger in the hedging language. China's overcapacity is a result of the administrative decapacity policy. Yeah, that works really well. So as a statement, the level of hedging here, hard to say. It's the very last in our Manchester manual examples for this type of hedging, but it works very well. But I just remembered something. One of our students said, Brendan, teacher, you have to put your source in there. So apologies, I forgot to put the source. The publication is September 2024, okay? So I go back and I do September 2024. Okay, there. And I feel more comfortable with that. And there. Okay. All right. So there you go. And I chose this example because this was probably the strongest of the hedgings words in the sequence that we're studying this evening. Okay, now what I'd like to ask is, does anybody have an example you would like to share with the class? Something I can work on? We could put a hedging word in there. Of course, I'll make a copy of tonight's lesson in 3 formats: PDF, Word, and Pages from Apple. But what we can do now for the next 15 minutes is share something in an abstract or a literature review, one paragraph if you'd like, and if you could put it into chat, I can slip in some hedging words there to help you from the examples we used tonight. That should be no problem. So feel free to just quickly copy and paste, and I'll put that there. Okay, so that was the one I just took from that source, from the thing. But does anyone else have something they would like to share? Because again, we have the lecture part of tonight, but I also enjoy the workshop style of educational instruction. So would anyone like to share? Anything is okay, from finance, education, social policy, resource management, environmental management, education policy, government policy, anything is okay.
Is it possible if I share one of the, paragraphs in my introduction with
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That sounds
okay. So I will
wonderful.
send you into the text. Okay, just a
Okay.
second.
Put it in the text, then what I'll do is copy it and paste it and put it back into my pages, which I can work on editing faster than Zoom. Zoom has limitations.
So where am I supposed to send you, into Zoom or Hello?
Could you do it in Zoom chat? Does it have, Zoom chat is sometimes difficult because it has a character limit, but could you try and then see if all of it can go in to the chat window?
Yes,
How
yes.
about after this, can I send you the paragraph or anything that I ask you to support me and review on that? Is it okay with you?
Please do.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. As Dr. Duke knows, I work very fast. I enjoy working very fast. It's my goal the next 5 years is to challenge AI to think faster than AI, to see if my brain can break AI. It's a strange goal, but it keeps me happy. Okay. And again, if the Zoom is too long, what you could do is divide it, your paragraph into 2 paragraphs. I can quickly copy and paste those both into pages. Ah, excellent. Nice, 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 nice. And I'm really happy that it put it all in there for you. Because again, I don't know why I've been using Zoom for 5 years now since the pandemic, and it still hasn't solved its character limit problem, which I think is unfortunate. Should allow students to put many more things. Let's see. So we have, this is from Hien, and let's see, is it 2 parts or just one? Yeah, it's 2 parts. Okay, wonderful. And actually 3 parts. So I have the next one called Emerging Trends. Yeah, this is wonderful. Thanks so much. Because this will be, again, that real world. I like using that expression, real world means real stuff from you, the students, from your work. And so I'll do another share quickly here. So far I have this, and now I have this. And let's try another. I'll stop the share here. And then we have part 3. Okay, let me see. We have part, no, here we have part 1, part 2, and then I believe we're coming up on part 3. Yeah, okay, there we go. And this starts with another outstanding example. All right, very good. And I'm going to paste this in here. Wait, it's sharing the wrong thing. Okay, one more. And up here, okay, I see what's going on. Okay, and there, and there. So we have the 3 parts. And so let's begin right away. We have artificial intelligence AI has impeded multifaceted perspectives on life. Similarly, artificial intelligence technologies have propelled a remarkable transformation in education. Okay, in educational field. Let's see, I'll just do a little editing for you in the educational field. And I'll highlight these so you see that I changed them for you. And we'll use a soft red. Upon its emergence, increasingly global universities have harnessed their powerful functionalities to diversify their teaching and learning processes. AI can be a friendly user tool. Could we reverse that to read user-friendly tool? That's the more common. Can be a user-friendly tool for students to personalize. I'm going to highlight that so you can see that I edited it. For students to personalize their learning experience. It's very good you have your source here. While being helpful for educators to automate assessments in class, these AI-based tools have consistently improved their transformative role in educational landscapes to enhance students' overall. Okay, what I'd like to do here is, let me go to my source here that I'm using, the Manchester hedging words. And I'm just going to copy, let's see if I can copy all of these and put them to the side. These were in the original document, but I'm going to put these up here at the top so I can quickly reference them. And there. Oh, no, it did it again. Very strange glitch in my Pages software. So I'm going to just put these in chat for everybody to see. And those all came from tonight's lesson, but I'm going to copy it again and bring it back into Pages. Okay, again, let's try this. Paste. Yep, okay, here we go. So we have the very last one. These AI-based tools have consistently proved their transformative role. Let's see. I would maybe slip this in. Separate studies. Okay. And I like this. Of course, I'll ask your opinion before I make any changes. Do you like this as a stylistic hedging here? Okay. Nice, nice. Emerging trends. What if we put a hedge in here? Good, good. A series of emerging trends indicates, because this is one of those difficult grammars, a series of emerging trends indicate. A series indicates, a series is seen as a single thing. So a series of emerging trends indicates more inclusive. I want to check the grammar. Sometimes my grammar, late at night in Japan, it's almost 11 o'clock. So sometimes I make grammar mistakes. If I made a grammar mistake here, please tell me. But I believe it's indicates with an S, okay? So forgive me if I made a mistake there. I'll check it later. It has been reported that a series of emerging trends in AI education indicates more inclusive and effective learning experiences to prioritize ethical and equitable. Let me see if that makes sense. It has been reported that a series of emerging trends in, is now this I really like. I'm really happy you gave me this example. This is excellent. The reason being is what I'm also doing here is I'm going against a similarity detection system by adding my own language to it without changing the thrust of the research. So I put in, it has been reported that a series of emerging trends in AI is indicative of increasing inclusiveness and effective learning experiences to prioritize ethical and equitable processes. By incorporating technological advancements with a human-centric approach, universities can optimize the benefits of AI to foster both teaching and learning processes. I do believe. Okay. Both teaching and learning processes. So put that little ES there for you. Okay. One of the key functions of AI, one of the key functions. Let's see. There is some evidence to suggest that one of the key functions of AI, so I'm going to highlight that too. Again, I'll leave it up to you if you want to keep these changes or not. That one of the key functions of AI is that it offers personalized learning for each individual to meet their needs. These platforms are designed to leverage a system of intelligent tutoring to adapt learning content delivery, thereby promoting engagement and improving their achievement. Thereby promoting engagement and improving academic achievement. I like better. It's more specific. As Nasir Kwali, very good here, shows, I would say, demonstrate. The system would adjust educational content accordance with real time. The system has the potential to adjust educational content in accordance. Okay. And so again, I'll highlight that for you so you can see the changes made. And in accordance with real-time assessments of learners, ensuring that feedback is relevant and timely. Now I'm going to sneak in this wonderful thus. I love thus. I do proofreading and editing for Dr. Duke's PhD students, and we try to promote thus as much as we can, thus effectively mending learning gaps and enhancing education equality. Okay. Another outstanding function of AI. Okay. It is thought that another outstanding function of AI is its automated assessment tools. These tools can provide instantaneous feedback on student performance while providing detailed insights into their progress and competence areas. Very good. Automated assessment tools equipped with AI technologies offer significant advancements in evaluating student performance. These tools can provide instantaneous feedback, perform natural language processing to assess written content, and utilize AI analytics to provide detailed insights into student progress and competency areas. Very nice. Through these capabilities, educators can gain. Let's see if we could put one more of these hedge words in. Let's see. Okay, I like that. It's a nice way to finish out our hedging for this evening. And there we go. Let me ask your impression. Was this from, I forgot the student, it was Hoon Fook Nguyen who submitted this? I forgot the student who, our member of our class this evening. But you could see, I love this expression. If you're like creating spicy writing, teacher will use this. I peppered this. I flavored this.
Yes, thank you, sir. Actually, I wrote it, and I also use some kind of deep research to enhance my writing as well. Thank you for your help. Thank you.
Yeah, then that way we can get around that similarity or AI, that taboo stuff that makes everybody nervous with a few hedge words. Peppered it. Okay, made it a little spicier. So by all means, use that one there. Okay, there you go. Nice work. I really enjoyed that. That's so please, if you want to try some homework, then by all means, bring this to class tomorrow or put it in the Zalo. I can easily help you with that. Actually, it's quite pleasurable for me to do that because it provides a direct application from the ideas we're discussing directly to your work. And that's really important. The real world examples are really important. Okay, it's now 11 o'clock and I have to prepare for my primary and secondary school geniuses class tomorrow morning with Kay Berry, our young debate students who will one day be great lawyers in Vietnam. A new generation of very intelligent kids who are doing supplemental learning. I think they're very admirable. Special thanks to their mothers and fathers for helping them get supplemental learning. So that's what I will be doing later this evening. Let me see if Dr. Duke is here. She said she will join us around 11-ish, if the good doctor is here as our host. Let's see. Dr. Duke, are you in the house? She was very busy today. Okay. Oh no, where is Dr. Duke? Let's see. Okay, I have another one here. I see the word taxonomy. This is from Tom Nguyen. Okay. Tom Nguyen, I will copy this and save it before turning the Zoom session over to Dr. Duke. So let me see. It's after this one here. Thanks, Tom. And I'm going to put it in tonight's teaching notes as something we need to work on. Okay. Well, let's see. I'll wait until Dr. Duke arrives. Let's see.
I think she's not here, but Tayberry is the host now, so I think you can leave if yes,
Okay.
you need to prepare something for tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I can do. Oh, let me see if I can. I'm not getting these symbols. I want to divide this up. No, strange. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Okay. So here's the dividing line. This just came in from Tom Nguyen. And Tom, I'll work on this. For tomorrow's class. Because this will probably take about 10 minutes to do. Extensive. Let me read it first. I'll pre-read it and we'll see if the doctor comes. So Tom Nguyen. Oh, let's see. There's a message on the Zalo. Let's see. Where is he? Counselor Tong. Okay.
Have any kind of course book or of this study?
Yeah. Okay. Should let's see. I'm here, said Tom. Hey, Tom. Okay. Do you pronounce it Tom or Tam? Tam or Tom? Tom Nguyen. Extensive academic research has examined the multifaceted nature of financial inclusion using diverse theoretical lenses and empirical designs. Research shows that, research shows that financial exclusion, especially among vulnerable groups, reduces savings, leads to inefficient credit allocation, weakens risk. Do you know, I would probably divide this here. Let's see if we can divide this to make a short, choppier sentence. So extensive academic research has examined the multifaceted nature of financial inclusion using diverse theoretical lenses and empirical designs. Let's put a period in here and write this research shows that financial exclusion, especially among vulnerable groups, reduces savings, leads to inefficient credit allocation, and weakens risk management for households and businesses, ultimately hindering sustainable growth. Oh, I really like this. By the way, Tom Nguyen, this is a great topic. Really, really good. This is part of my research that I did. Okay. In parallel, bibliometric techniques, including co-word analysis, co-citation analysis, and science mapping with, let's say, with the VOS viewer, I guess, together with systematic reviews, have organized and synthesized, let's see, in parallel, have organized and synthesized the expanding evidence base. Existing mappings generally emphasize developmental outcomes, technology, and regulatory enablers, and post-pandemic digitalization, but they remain comparatively urban-centric. Let's use the big however, which in itself is a form of hedging. However, they remain comparatively urban-centric and rarely offer fine-grained taxonomies of sub-themes relevant to agrarian settings. Oh, this is really interesting. Tom, thank you for submitting this because I covered that in another context. Let's see. Okay. So did we use any hedging words here? No. I really don't see a need for the hedging here. In parallel, this is phrased nicely, Tom. In parallel, bibliometric techniques, including co-word analysis, co-citation analysis. I mean, I'm tempted with the in parallel. Let's see, since you state this, we could put this here. (2014) is it? No, 2024. Oh, it's just two. I'm sorry. Okay, we already put that. Here we have Ahiase et al. And the date on that is 2024. Very recent sources. Okay, there, I put that in as our only real hedging. It's a good phraseology, good phrasing. Extensive academic research has examined the multifaceted nature. This research shows these we couldn't really change because you directly talk about the research. According to Ahiase et al., 2024, but what I could do is this. Okay, and I'll put that highlighted as well. So those are some changes and some editing, but mostly I just put this according to in there. I inserted that. Okay, very good. And I'll stop the share there. Let's see. Oh, I'll put that there too. Okay. Let's see if anything else came in. Okay. I got a message there. All right. So let me just check if the doctor is here. Is the good doctor in the house?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
We had a wonderful time. Part 2 of the exciting world of hedging. But it was quite good. It was a really productive session because I got 2 real world samples that we could work on the last 15 minutes of class. Dr. Duke, I'll show you here. And so you can see we used extensive hedging in the first example here for one of our new students.
Yeah.
Nice three paragraphs. The hedging worked extremely well here from the Manchester Guide. And then for Tom Nguyen, we just used a little hedging here. And I believe this insertion of however is a transition word, not necessarily a hedge, but it's a good transition. And so we used 2 techniques, actually. We used the shortened style hedging technique, a short style writing technique, breaking longer sentences up into 2 parts. So we did 2 or 3 things this evening. And then the homework is, if any students would like to submit things like this paragraph, or even 3 paragraphs are okay. This one here, please put them in Zalo and I'll have a look at them tomorrow or throughout the week. And I can begin doing edits on them for you. And basically for these edits, I'll try to put in some really strong hedging words for you. That will be my goal. If you want to use the hedging words, I leave it up to you. Again, you can reject anything we suggest as editing if you yourself don't feel comfortable with it. By all means, you could say, well, it's a good suggestion, but I don't have to use it, do I? By no means you have to use it. All right. Any comments, Dr. Duke, while I get my water?
Yeah, that's good. So I get everyone to send some works for you tomorrow. If not, then you just pick random any works available, yeah, and apply for the hedging works. Yeah.
Okay. And we learned this sidetrack. There's the visual.
Okay.
Main track
It's-
is strong, sidetrack is the tendency to go off topic. So we want to avoid that, but I think the visual really helps. Okay, everyone, I'm going to start making copies of this to share with you. And so I thank you for a really productive class, and I will see you all tomorrow. Nice to meet some new members as well. Thank you for joining our sessions. And I leave it over to Dr. Duke. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Brendan. No.